Hey,
Blessings. Hey there.
blessings. It's so good to see you. We finally made
Great
it.
to
I
see you.
finally made it.
Great to see you, Julie. Great to be seen. Great to be seen.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm really looking forward to our talk. I came outside because this is the best place to breathe and have a high vibrational talk and enjoy ourselves. And
Absolutely.
you're outside too.
Yeah, I hope you can see me and hear me clearly, Julie.
You're
I hope
perfect.
so. Okay, because I'm on the Wi-Fi here at a nearby cafe. It's a tea shop here. I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
Ooh. Yeah, I've driven through Georgia. They've got some beautiful trees.
They sure do. They sure do. I love to see like the mossiness, of different trees. Like there's all sorts of different ones out here. I've been just walking around to different parks, meditating in different, areas and spaces. And, someone, just as we came on here, Julie, they said that you look amazing. And I echo that. You really do. That's a lovely color on you.
Oh, thank you. You look amazing yourself. I'm a huge fan. I watch all your stuff as much as I can. I get interrupted all the time by the girls, but I'm hoping to teach them some qigong and get them into it as early as possible. But
Wow.
yeah, I
Beautiful. How are the girls doing?
they're doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Nina's almost 5 and
Okay.
Violet's almost 1.
Okay. Violet's almost 1 and Nina's almost 5.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And they're just running around the place?
Um, right now they are both with their dads.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
this is
True, true,
my
true.
day where Nina's at her dad's and Violet's just inside with Robbie.
Okay. Okay, got you. And what inspired the look? Because you have your own style here, like just with everything that you've, customized and put together, well coordinated. What inspires these the free flowing looks that you create, you know?
Well, it's for you guys, like I want to decorate myself so that when I come on to the camera, you guys are like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's nice. And I wanted to, be pleasing to the eye for you guys with my favorite necklace.
Hmm.
And I really don't even know where I got it. I just like happened to come across it and it's been with me for a long time.
Hmm.
And these earrings are actually made from a turkey that we had on the farm. It's not dead, or it's probably dead by now, but it was a long time ago. But we just borrowed a feather,
Okay.
cruelty free, and so made these.
Hmm.
So I like to wear things that, I don't know, tie me into nature. And then I have this. That's,
That's like a dream catcher.
yeah, it's copper. It's a tensor ring.
Oh, okay. It looked like kind of
It's
like from
mini.
back here, it looked kind of like a dream cut, but now it looks like a whole bunch of, okay, got it. That's like an energy,
Yeah,
functional energy machine. There you go. Okay.
exactly.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
big into tensor?
um, yeah, I was getting into it. Yeah. I've only got this one. I lost my other one, but I think they're just beautiful, and I believe, when I was living out on the farm, um, in the middle of nowhere, and there was no EMF, low population density, it was like I could feel a lot more vibrational energy. I could meditate a lot better. Everything was just better. So I definitely believe that uh, protecting ourselves from the EMF is important. We do the best we can. But yeah, why not wear protective energy, uh, protective jewelry with a purpose?
Right. Why not? Why not? Especially since you're talking about jewels, you know, with things that you're curating, like the things that you curate for yourself that you customize or that are custom made, you talk about looking pleasing or aesthetically pleasing, but also You know, it's pleasing for your protection, you know, your vibration, you know, the you in relation to other people. So
Yes.
have you noticed an effect? Have you noticed, you know, any feelings or any change in your frequency since you started to put on this jewelry frequently?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. And when I was pregnant, it hung right on my belly. And I really liked that up until the end when it was kind of bouncing around on my big round belly. So then I had to take it off. But that felt really special, like it was protecting my womb.
The, the womb space, you know, I don't know too much
Yes.
about, you know, that obviously, like, you know, I haven't ventured too much into that or done too much research. But when it comes to that womb space, the realm of that space and with intention, like what's one of the things that you've learned just through, I mean, your children, through the process that you've gone through, that has really stayed with you? Like, what's something that you didn't know before, but you're so thankful you learned along the way?
Ooh, Jerome, we could get into this. Oh my gosh. The experience of bringing a human earth side, bringing a soul earth side, it is unlike anything else. And I want to talk about that more because um, much like everything else we're doing, a lot of the natural process of birth has been stolen from us, and not only from the women but from the men too, because men are an active part of birth. You know, it was just me and my partner here in our home when I was in labor, and he was, you know, an essential part of my process. But so many women, they come to me, and you know, we are in such distrust of our bodies that we, you know, we think we need a medication, we need this, we need all these outside sources to rectify any issues that may arise. But when when you're pregnant, it's all intuition. And when I was pregnant with my second pregnancy, I had already gone through the most magical awakening of my life, my uh, about year of mostly liquidarianism. I did 7 months only liquids, and then I tried to carry it on, but I did get pregnant, and it just shifted everything, and I just wasn't able to maintain it. Um, so yeah, I stayed high vibe, raw vegan diet, and been fruits every day, but yeah, and also always trying to get back to that slowly but surely. But anyway, um, the the experience was just so intuitive. When I was building the baby, you know, it was like, okay, today I really just want something orange, you know, like I need some oranges or some carrots, and I could really trust my body to like pick out what my body wanted for the baby, and that was really cool. And then yeah, down to like the end there, I it's just, you're like an animal. You're like, okay, the baby's coming, and you get kind of crazy about cleaning the house and organizing things, and it's like your nest, and you're like, okay, I've got to like get everything ready. And um, then the day that I went into labor, uh, you know, they always like it, I didn't have any, I never went to a doctor. I actually did go to a doctor. It's a long story, and they told me I was not pregnant. And that was like really wild. And I was like, no, I'm really sure. And the white coats, as I call them, they just mislead us. They just um, they are constantly disempowering us and uh, making us second guess our bodies, which is
What
why women can't birth by themselves in anymore, because they're scared.
what
Uh,
made them think you weren't pregnant?
I have no idea. So I didn't test positive. I was I was living a liquidarian lifestyle at that time. I was like a month into liquids in my first trimester, and I was just like thought I was pregnant. I was like, I'm throwing up, I'm dizzy, um, my my body is changing. like, I'm pregnant. I've done this before. I know I'm pregnant. And I went into I went to a free care clinic because I just wanted to get like an ultrasound without any medical care, just to see what was going on in there. And they said some inconclusive results. Oh, looks like you might be in early stages here, but we really don't know. We advise going to see a medical doctor. So for confirmation purposes, because I wasn't testing positive and I was getting so many signs, I decided to go to a medical doctor, and she was like, "Oh, you're not pregnant." She scans everything, she looked at everything, and I believe this was a few months in already. And she looked at everything, and then she came back and she said, "You have a non-pregnant uterus. Everything looks great. You look very healthy, non-pregnant uterus." And I was like, "But I can't button my pants." And I like wasn't gaining, I wasn't like gaining mass all over my body. I was just gaining this belly. And so I was like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Your hormones are messed up. You're having a phantom pregnancy." Yeah. And so then I was like, "Oh, okay." And so of course I'm like kind of devastated. It's like a roller coaster of emotions. And so she tells me I'm having a phantom pregnancy. And I go to the car, I just start sobbing. I look it up. It says like that women who have chronic depression or chronic stress might make believe that they're pregnant to make themselves feel better. And I thought, oh my God, I haven't been taking care of my mental health. I didn't know I was chronically stressed or depressed. I thought I was, doing fine, but apparently I've created a pregnancy in my body that's not real. So I went through all of this and continued to have symptoms, like a month longer, just feeling crazy out of whack. And I went back because I just couldn't take it anymore. I went back and the same lady walks in. I didn't even like pay attention. I was like feeling so sick when I made the appointment. I was just like, whatever. She comes in, I'm like, "Oh, it's you again." And she's like, "I am so sorry." She's like, "You are pregnant." And I never took the pills because of course I was like, I don't need those. And so if I would have taken those hormones, I may not have Violet today. So another way, they just like, they, even with all their machines and all their tech, the body, I don't know what was going on. I don't know why they didn't see her. She's a healthy, everything is, good. I have no idea. But so then after that, I just moved to having an like a mid. I wanted to have a free birth, and my partner was like, "No, Jules, like this is my first child. I think this is like, a pretty big deal. We should at least have someone here to support you." So I honored his wishes, and we hired a midwife, but she was very hands off. She came like a few times. She felt for the heartbeat, and or she listened for the heartbeat, um, checked my urine to make sure the baby was still alive and growing, and the right size, right position. And that was it. And then I had a doula. Doula was much more important. She was my emotional support caretaker. I suggest every woman get one. I didn't even know they existed, but seems like ancient female care that shouldn't be tossed. She came over and like watched movies with me and helped me make food and helped me in my garden, just to keep me company while I was in the final days. Um, yeah, I can I keep going or do you want me to stop?
No, I love this. I love this. Like as I'm listening to you, my mouth was wide open. Even Nabiha here, Nabiha, she has three of her own, and so I'm sure she's probably never even heard of that because she's the expression she's given down here, like what? Phantom pregnancy. I've never even heard of a phantom pregnancy based on emotions, fluctuations, depression, and like regression and like all these different things that it sounded almost like gaslighting. You ever heard of gaslighting?
Yes, and they
It,
do that so much in the doctor's office. And they
really.
particularly hate when you act like you know about your own body.
So that's what it sounded like. It was almost like someone making you think that you're crazy and that you don't know what's actually going on. When you've, like you said, you've clearly said you've been through this before. You know the symptoms. You know the sensations. You know the vibration. So, oh my gosh! And now Violet is here. You know,
Yes.
you brought Violet Earthside. You know,
Yes.
you brought her Earthside. That's amazing. You trusted yourself. You trusted yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you
Okay.
we led up to birth then. So I bowed out of the doctor's offices from then on. I was like, thank you, and I will not be seeing you. She offered me a whole slew of things. Oh, we can give you extra, we can give the baby extra shots for, vitamin K for blood clotting after she comes out. We're going to give you a high risk room in the hospital because you're having a geriatric pregnancy because I'm 37 now, but I was 36 at the time. But I'm younger now than I was when I was 25. Like I feel healthier physically, my number is bigger, but where I'm at is younger, more rejuvenated. So I was like, I'm very grateful to be having my pregnancy at 36 and not 25 when I was living this terrible lifestyle. Um, so yeah, anyway, I felt very confident in my body, and I just proceeded through the whole experience with my doula, mostly talking to her about emotional things I was going to have to shift, things that big changes in my life. And so then I get to the day of labor, and I don't know. It's the day of labor, of course. I wake up, I'm 11 days late than the doctor's due date. And that was the same as Nina was 11 days on the T. So who's to say I was late? Maybe that's my gestation period. And they would have induced me in the hospital. Oh, it's taking too long. Let's make an appointment. It's all about the doctor's schedule, and when to get that baby out on his time, which is insane. And yeah, so then I was like, okay, I took a bath in the morning, and I have water births. So I was in the bath, and the sun was kind of shining in on the water, just sparkling a little. And I felt mystical, magical, more so than like usual on a usual day. I mean, I definitely was feeling something. I was like, this feels like a very special day. And so, yeah, as I was soaking in the bath, kind of just trying to like, okay, another day, not knowing when this baby's going to come out of my body. I just got to really surrender during that time. And so, sure enough, as soon as I got out of the bath, well, my midwife kept saying, Jules, you got it. She was hanging around here waiting for me, away from her family. She's such a sweet, uh, gives her all doula, amazing. I can give the name to anyone, but she was waiting around for me. She's like, Jules, come on. Like, I've been here for weeks now, and because she has to come in 37 weeks, you could have the baby, but I was at 41 weeks. And so she told me, like, she suggested some things I could do to start labor. One of the things is, the na- the way the baby goes in is the way the baby comes out. So to have some intimacy with your partner. So we tried that, and instantly I was in labor. So I was like, I'm not sure about this. And it worked, and that's why I wasn't sure about it. But and then what happened was, it's like God takes his hand and he puts it on your uterus, and he just slowly squeezes a little, okay? And that's a contraction, but what we call in hypnobirthing, we call it waves, because the mind likes that word better. And so it squeezes, and then the baby comes a little bit down, and that goes on for hours. and it lets go, and you have time to meditate in between. And the for 5 hours I was making raw food. I was making raw food in labor in the kitchen. I was spiralizing noodles. I was making sauces because I knew that I was going to be very hungry and no one was going to make me my favorite foods. And I was just enjoying touching these natural foods and in the sun in my kitchen. And then I would lean over and say like, oh, and my partner's like, are you all right? Do I need to be in there? And I'm like, not yet, we're all good. And then they started coming like every 5 minutes, every 4 minutes. And then I moved to the couch and I'm just moving around on the couch. And he's like, should I be there with you? I'm like, yes. It comes over there at some point. I'm like, I need to bite something. And he was like, and then I thought, oh no, I can't bite my help, you know? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So I gotta not hurt him. I need him. So I stopped. I took like it was all about breathing, you know? And I'm getting better at breath work even now. I'm doing it all the time. So I think I'll be better for the next one. But so after that, we moved. It's like you're on drugs. Like I used to do drugs, so I can compare, but when you're in labor, you get a mass amount of oxytocin to help you with the pain, and you are in a trance. You're going to the stars to collect this human that chose you to be their leader, their mentor, their guide, and you're bringing them in, and like I feel like all the souls in the universe that are on my soul team up there, they all came down to watch and huddle around, you know, so you feel that. And I'm just like in this trance. I can't really talk. You can't really talk. You don't really communicate in full sentences. And then I always throw up. I've only had 2 children, but I do this weird throw up where right before I go into hard labor, it just comes out. There's no heaving. I'm just sitting there like, and I did that, and that's how I knew, like, I started to feel like, wow, the baby's coming down. I could feel every little thing. When you're in the hospital, they numb you. You can't feel any of that. And then they convince you need to cut the baby out for some reason or another because your body can't do it. And I know there are certain circumstances, but in most births, it is not a medical circumstance. It is a natural process, the most natural thing a woman will ever do. And so then I get to the bed and I'm sitting there and Robbie's like, should I be calling the midwife? Should I be calling the doula? Because it looks like things are getting pretty intense. And I'm like, I've been telling him the whole time. My intuition was saying the baby's coming down fast, but my mind was saying no, it can't be that easy. I I must have a lot more pain and time to go through. So I don't want to call the midwife and the doula yet because partially because like I didn't want to waste their time if I wasn't ready, and also because I wanted to do it kind of alone. It was actually my underlying plan the whole time was to have the free birth. So I was trying to push it. So I told him, like I went to answer and I just threw up. And he was like, okay, I'm calling them now. So about 5 minutes after that, I'm like, get me to the bathtub. The baby is coming. The baby is coming. So then I get in that same bathtub that I had that bath in the morning, and I give birth to Violet, still in her placenta. So that's very rare. My water never broke. It's called like there's a name for that kind of birth, but it's very peaceful. She didn't cry. She just laid on me. Neither of my girls cried. And no one touched her. And then I moved to my bed and no one ever touched her. No one ever took her out of this house. And she's thriving. She's almost a year. Never been to the doctor.
Wow, Julie, that is amazing. That is
Thank
amazing. Just
you.
just
Thank
your
you for letting
ability
me share.
of course, thank you for sharing. Just like your ability to recount that story, to just retell every moment, beat by beat, breath by breath, moment by moment. I mean, it just feels like it's unforgettable. you know, that memory is indelible. It's etched inside you, you know, you just, oh my gosh, you know, like you just
Yeah.
really, you placed us in there. We were in the room with you. We were there with you just now while you were describing this. And that is amazing, you
You
know,
guys
like,
were with me. You were with me because I
yeah.
needed all of you.
And you know, I'm curious because you said that at one point you mentioned hypnobirthing, like hypnobirth. I've never heard of hypnobirth. Is that a different type of birthing? Hypno?
Yeah. So, okay, so when I was pregnant with Nina, I lived in South Florida and I found all the worst fakest people. I was still in a low vibrational circle and I ended up going to this place that my insurance covered called Boca Babes, and they were really fake everything and just fake voices talking to me like I was a burden. And I was like, I can't see this person leading me through birth. You know, at that time, I thought I needed someone to lead me through birth. So I looked at my insurance, and the only other place to go was a birthing center. And I thought, well, I can't have a birth without drugs. Everybody gets drugs, you know, like everybody gets numb. They get the epidural to numb their spine. Then you can't move. I can't imagine being in labor and not being able to move. You got to sway your hips. You got to walk around. You got to roll around. Maybe you got to bite someone. It's like an intense process. I can't imagine being frozen in my body. But well, it's all happening. And so, yeah, that's how it happened to get me to a birthing center with Nina. And then I started to get educated by them. They started to tell me a lot of things, and I kind of forgot the question now, so I think I'm off track.
No worries, no worries, Julie. So I was just asking about hypnobirthing.
Yeah.
Like what is
Okay,
hypnobirth?
so I was on the right track. So when I was in the birthing center, which was wonderful, but I went a step beyond with the free birth, which was even better. Um, the I was handed a pamphlet called Hypnobirthing, and I thought, okay, this is an alternative to drugs. And then I took the class. I was very intrigued, and it was a series of affirmations and a rainbow meditation. Those two audios were paramount behind the course. And then there were in-person meets with every Sunday with other pregnant couples. But the affirmations were really, I could have done without the class. You know, it was fun to see other people in the same situation, but the audio tapes really changed my experience. I was listening to them, and at first, you know, it's a whole different way of looking at birth. And the best thing they do in the courses is they show you women giving birth like this, like in active hard labor, like it's all about breath work. So these women are hypnotized. They've hypnotized themselves, and I'll talk about that. They're meditating and they're breathing, and their births look painless. And they're literally, and then you compare that to a woman who's, you know, well, in the movies, you know, chaos, screaming, men shouting at them, push, no! You know when to push. You know, your body, you can't stop the push. Your body's like, no, and there's no need unless you're numb and on drugs, then you need someone to tell you when to push. So yeah, hypnobirthing changed my life. I started listening to it at 7 months pregnant. 3 months I listened to it every morning and every night, both the rainbow meditation and the affirmations. The affirmations were this nice, kind, calm older lady who said things like, your birth will be easy. An on-call birth. That's what I had. A baby born inside of their water sack. And I had two of those. I never had my water break. But yeah, your birth will be easy. This is the most natural thing you will ever do. And I mean, you need this stuff, Jerome. When you're looking down at your belly and you're like thinking about the mechanics, you're like, okay, you've got to surrender and you've got to get your mind right. So I posted these up all around my house, which was a recommendation of my wonderful doula, and they were like, you know, just more things like that. Like I will gracefully accept any turn that my birthing takes. I am ecstatic about the contractions, the waves are bringing me closer to meeting my baby, you know? And so I listened to these and I thought, I did it with Nina too. And it was instrumental. And I didn't know, I'm learning more and more and more the power of our mind and our breath, even now, even this week. And it's like, um, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought, am I being ridiculous? Listening to this lady telling me I'm gonna have an easy birth. And you know, most people, they've had tortured births, especially our parents. My grandmother was anesthetized, and they pulled the baby out with like what looked like those things you pick up meat with, you know, like the pull that had tongs. And yeah, she had no memory at all of the entire experience. And the memory is the most one of the most magical experiences of my life, like the best workout of your life where you get the biggest results you've ever had, you know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was um it was transcendental. Like I put those on when I went into labor with Nina after training my mind to get hypnotized each night when I listened and each morning. And once I put it on, my body instantly reacted. It had been trained. And I went into a trance-like state and I was able to stay in that state throughout labor. I'd say right at the end of labor when it's like really intense and the baby's head is just hitting and coming out, that's when you lose it. But labor's taught me a lot about life. Just when you think you cannot do it anymore, that's when it's over. That's when you did it. That's when you accomplished your dream and your goal. So if you're feeling like that, it means you're right there. I love that.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What a life lesson. You
Yeah.
know, not only a blessing, but a huge life lesson of never giving up, but understanding that right at that cusp, like right at the point when you're ready to just, surrender, it's already over. You've already done it. You've already
Yes.
triumphed.
Yes.
Yeah. You've already surmounted the mount. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And
And
just
then,
listening to those, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I'd love to hear
Yeah,
you.
like listening to those sweet affirmations, telling you that this is going to be a perfect birth and you're right on time and all is well and everything is just everything is
Everything.
in order. Yeah, and you just receiving and believing and perceiving. I had no idea it was so mental. I didn't know that it was a lot of mental work that you really had to undergo in preparation, you know for the baby. So beautiful. When you were talking earlier, you mentioned, Julie, you just said it kind of like an offside comment, but you were like, as I'm building a baby, I'm just building this baby, right? And in my mind, of course, I'm thinking like it's not just like build a bear, this is like build a baby. This is not like build a bear. But I have heard people, Julie, maybe you've heard people as well. I don't know, but there's people that will say that, the female or the woman definitely has a certain power or the ability to really form and create this child. Like there's even in movies, there was a movie. Have you ever seen this movie called Dune?
I think I've heard of
Yeah.
it. I'll write it
Yeah.
down if you think I should watch
Well,
it. Now I'm gonna watch it.
it's a science fiction film. It's called Dune. There's Dune Part 1 and Part 2. It's science
I
fiction and it's based
think
off
I
of
have
this.
heard of this.
Yeah,
My
it's based off of
partner was
a
talking about it.
awesome. So he was talking about it. Okay, so he probably knows about it, but it's based off of a novel series, a Dune series by Frank Herbert. And in this book, Julie, there's these characters, these strong and powerful women, and they're called the Bene Gesserit, the Bene Gesserit in the film and in the book. And these women, they can, like at conception or like in the womb, they can change the gender of their child. Like they can literally build the baby, and they know what gender it's going to be. Like they've for, gotten it ready. They've told them, okay, we want this one to be a female, and she knows, she's instructed. She has her, she has her instruction, and she knows she has training, to be able to do this. And then she's like, this one, we're gonna have this one be a male, and this one's gonna pass on the lineage, and this one's gonna take the heritage, and this one's gonna rule the kingdom, and this one is gonna be, what I mean?
Wow,
So
yes.
I
Build a baby. That's a good quote of our talk
and
today.
there's only one of my friends. Well, she's much more than a friend. But back when we were more friends, she was telling me about her doing this. That she actually consciously, with intention, was building one of her children, and they came out just like she envisioned, like just like she imagined, just
Yeah,
like she, you
yeah.
know, it was
I
it was so
envisioned
intentional.
I envisioned Violet. I envisioned Violet. I had the whole thing was a vision. I thought that I would move to this house, have a baby, and I saw when I walked into this house, I saw myself pregnant with my partner behind me holding my belly, and I hadn't been pregnant yet. And I just, yeah, the more we stay clean and clear, the more we have endless premonitions, and the more we recognize the magic and the power that we have in our minds.
So it's unlimited.
Unlimited.
Oh man.
Unlimited. It's, yeah, if you think it is.
Wow. Wow. I love this. I love this. These are not like my realm of topics when we get into this, but it's fascinating. It's
Yeah,
fascinating just to talk about
yeah.
this because, you were even talking about during these periods where you were going in and out with liquids. And I don't know if I ever really learned like your initial motivation and inspiration to live on liquid or be more liquidarian or, be without solids. Could you talk about that? Ever since, being on Dr. Phil and all of that stuff that happened and took place during that, what has it been for you to go in and out of these wavelengths, you know?
Oh, it's a lot. It's once you get to that liquidarian state where you are in bliss a lot of the time. I didn't stay there too long, like I was there for a few months of my life. But once you're there, like for me, the experience, I don't know, if it was just the liquidarianism or if it was also because I was a combination of living in nature on land. But I think it was definitely the liquidarian lifestyle. Wow, I just got to a place where I thought, every day was better. Every single day, my brain felt cleaner, smarter, better, more creative, happier, more excited. And I couldn't imagine my life getting better. And then it would. And my life, I spent most of my life very, I would say, depressed and in pain. I had my my mother. She endured a lot of trauma and abuse as a child, and she had mental health issues because of that. So she was in and out of the hospital most of my childhood. I didn't have much of a connection with my father, and so my mom led the way, and she just kind of taught me about pills and surgeries, and if you're tired, take a pill, and like we would eat Taco Bell and just give me my shots in the living room because she was a nurse. My grandfather was a doctor. Just and watching her, she tried to commit suicide about 12 times between the age of 6 and 29. So I guess what I really wanted to do was not was turn that shit around, man. That's not. I hated seeing her life go in a downward spiral. I hated seeing how she didn't get to solve her issues, didn't get to heal or free her traumas. I was dead set on healing so that because I was leading the similar path, I was also on drugs and mental health issues with depression, anxiety, and mood swings, just from all the trauma I had endured. And I was determined to turn it around and to find joy in life, because I was just trying to drink my way and eat my way, smoke my way through everything, specifically drugs and alcohol. And I couldn't do that anymore. Once I got sober, it was about learning how to enjoy being sober.
Hmm.
And I realized that you could get the most fantastic high from your natural state, uh, as you know, without the solid food burden. You could get them to the highest place. You could have superhuman powers. You could, you know, talk with your angels. You could connect with the universe. You can get everything you want, manifest everything you want. I realized all of these things come from your diet and what you choose to put in your mouth. And every bite can steal from you, or it could give to you. So I'm still, yeah, I'm still on a mission to figure out my perfect diet, but I definitely want to do another long time of liquidarianism, and if I could get back there, I'd live there. Depending on pregnancies and stuff like that, I'm not sure
Right. Of
about the
course.
pregnancy.
Of course. And
Yeah.
thank you for just sharing that, you know, your transparency on like that testimony of what it teaches you, how it reaches you, what it reveals, how you feel, what it heals, you know? And
Yeah.
when you're talking about talking with angels and connecting with the universe on that level, you know, what are some of those experiences that you can recall that you've had that were kind of like mind blowing during a fast or during a period of going without the solid?
Ooh, okay. Yeah. One time, the craziest circumstance was one time I was with Nina's father. We were staying in an RV on some land that he has, and we were deep into juice fasting, liquidarianism. We were probably like 6 months in, no, no food at all, and we were in the RV and having a normal evening. Nina was asleep, and all of a sudden we hear, oof, bug. Um, we hear womp, 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 and people might think I'm crazy, but this really happened, and he's not really that spiritual. He's not trying to go deep or do anything. He's a pretty, you know, here on earth type guy most of the time, and so he experienced everything with me, so it's less more advice that I'm not crazy. So anyway, it was like womp, womp, but it was an energy, a heavy vibration coming over the camper, and there's nothing around. Okay, this is the top of a mountain, a valley on top of a mountain. It's like you can hardly get internet up there. The stars are just beautiful, not a high densely populated area, and we feel this pull, and we instantly have the feeling that this could be aliens visiting. Like, as crazy as it sounds, like that's how we felt. I mean, it's crazy to think that there's not other beings, right? So I mean, insane and pompous. But so yeah, I we go outside, we like peek outside the camper, and we're like looking up in the sky, and it goes away. Like when we go outside, it was gone. And then we go back inside, and we hear it again. And what happened, what I felt like was happening at that time was I felt like someone was shuffling through my thoughts. Like my thoughts were not safe. My thoughts were exposed, and someone was looking through them. And I genuinely thought that it was the aliens kind of doing some research on us as humans that have been doing this liquidarian lifestyle to kind of check in and see how it's affecting our brains or what's going on, or just see how we're living, or just be intrigued by us. But at another point, I had another experience real quick with aliens as well. That was only 2 months into liquidarianism. I was taking a nap, and I felt very tired, felt detoxy, and I was like kind of sinking into the bed, and I fell into a deep sleep where I felt that I was Like in the typical alien shows where the funnel comes down onto you and you're sucked up. I felt like that happened with me, and then I got up to their spaceship in my dream, and no one was talking. You just hear what they're saying in your mind. Their faces don't move, and it was very interesting. And they had me on a table, and they were rearranging things and upgrading me. And then I was like put back together and put back to the bed. And I woke up and I felt really good. I felt really amazing. And they were gentle, you know, like gentle beings. And then they erased, I feel like they were trying to erase most of it out of my mind. But after that, you know, I've never really been the same. I've been upgraded.
Oh my gosh, Julie, there is such a big old smile on my face right now because you cannot imagine. Well, you can imagine, of course, but I have one of my mentors. Today I have two main mentors of mine. One is Elitam Elamin, and the other is a lady named Raki Chari, and she's known on YouTube as the
Have to
Breatharian
check her out.
Yogini. Yeah, on YouTube she has a channel called the Breatharian Yogini. I'll send you the video where she talks literally. She said it in our interview, and she's also said it in her own testimony. Literally, just what you said, it happened to her. It happened to her. And at first she
Here
thought
I
she was
am
going
thinking
crazy.
like everyone's gonna think I'm crazy, but this shit
No,
really
it
happened.
happened. It happened during like a period of detox, like you said, detoxy. She was really, she was laying down, and then she tried to sit up, and the being kind of put her back down, and she tried to lift up, and it was like gently like putting her back down, like it's okay, like let us finish what we need to do.
Yep.
And they were just going throughout her energy matrix, going throughout her vessel, and rearranging things and moving this, and this needs to go, that needs to go, take this and move this around, and all
Yeah.
right,
So
and
we
everything
can
was
do our
good.
work. So
Yeah.
we can serve our purpose here, because ever since I connected, when I
Hmm.
connected on the liquidarian lifestyle, I connected. Now we're connected for life, you know, like, and it was always meant to be, but now I've woken up to it. And so I'm here to serve. So I have to serve. This is my job, to serve humanity and wake the people up about the poisoned food. And that's what we're doing here. You, me, all of our soul family here.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. Absolutely. It's like I feel the mission, I feel like your passion, I feel your purposefulness, and I feel like this really fires you up. You really get fired up to
Yeah.
and fueled to just really go out and spread this awareness, let people know and just wake people up, who
Yeah.
might still be sleeping, because you know what it feels like to be asleep. You know what it feels like to
Yeah.
be in the darkness.
Yeah.
And now when you're like a beacon of light, for people that are out at sea, the ships that are trying to find their way to dock, that trying to find their way to the shore, you're like guiding them. You're like, this way, this
You
way.
too, man.
Yeah.
I
So,
just want to say, Jerome, I know I talked a lot, but I love to hear you talk. You are a genius mind, and I love your commitment to the community, that you're always here for us. I'm comforted in times when I'm feeling stress or panic as a mom. There's sometimes a lot of stimulation, and I just listen to you, and you reconnect me. You really have a skill to, first of all, you show up consistently, which is everything. And I know that's not always easy. So thank you. And also, that you have this way of just pulling this beautiful stuff out of people that everyone needs to hear. And then you go back and edit it and get that beautiful little chunk, and you share it in a simple, easy way. And it just makes my day. It really does. You're one of my absolute favorite all-time accounts.
oh my gosh, Julie, thank you. I received that. Thank you for that feedback, and thank you that you receive that energy, that it's reciprocal for you, and that you feel it means everything.
Yeah,
Because I feel like this is my purpose. This is what I was born to
for
do,
sure.
and I might
It's
not have
not
known
easy.
it. Yeah, right. right. It's not always, but it's very fulfilling for me. It's a pleasure to do this and to continue doing this. You know, I don't see myself ever stopping. It's really feeding me. It's food. It's like food for me.
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Nourishing.
Nourishing on all levels, all levels. So thank you for that acknowledgement. You know, thank you just for seeing me that way. I really appreciate you for that because you don't always know how things are received, but you still
100%.
you still you still put out that energy anyway because, like you said, it's necessary. It's time.
Thank
You know.
you. Like
Yes.
there have been, I want you to know that there have been moments where I have been feeling really stressed or having a really hard time, and I literally just put on some of your content and I feel better. So just, I know as a creator myself that on the other end, sometimes you're like, is anybody listening today, you know? Or did anybody, you know, but we are, you know that by now, but on those moments where you might think that, just know that we are listening and we are so appreciative of that energy you consistently give to your community. And just thank you so much for being you. You're one of a kind, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
You know, it's I love this because everyone has a story. You know, you tell me that I'm so good at pulling these stories out of people. I feel like these stories are like begging to emerge, you
Yes.
know. They're like full, they're bursting, you know. So sometimes someone's cup is running over and they're just waiting, you know, for the right opportunity. So I
Yeah.
really thank you for allowing it to be heard because I can't do it for anybody, you know. I, you have to do it for yourself, you know.
The
So
collective working
exactly,
together.
exactly.
That's
So I will definitely be sending you that video I told you about. Just know, like, you're not crazy, you know. And I love what you said, Julie, about it would be pompous and arrogant to believe that there wasn't other intelligent life, other sentient beings, other benevolent beings, you know, other
hmm
beings that have their own purpose, just like we have our own purpose. Why would we think that we're the only ones out here?
Well,
You
you're kind
know?
of like a soul. You're not all the way human, I don't think.
Ah,
I think I think you're a little bit of a soul. You didn't make the full transformation once you got here. You like that? I really mean that. I really mean that, man.
oh
It's
man,
not
oh man,
easy,
oh man.
but you rock it. You lead
Blessings,
us all.
blessings, blessings. Likewise, likewise. They say you gotta work hard to make it look easy, you know.
Yeah, you do it. You do it. That smile every day, man, keeps me going.
Well, I'm glad to keep you going, and we'll keep the energy flowing. You know, do you
Yes.
have anything coming up or anything that has already arrived that you would like people to know about? Any of your programs, your website, or just anything that you want people to gravitate towards, your offerings, your services? Would you mention something for people?
Well, yeah, sure. Thanks, Jerome. Yeah, so well, first of all, you gotta join Jerome's Patreon because it'll blow your mind. If you're trying to fast or you're trying to clean up your diet and you listen to that, it will help just catapult you into your journey. And it's fun and it's exciting. So definitely check that out. And on my end, I'm also doing a community that's totally different than Jerome's. Mine is it's the rawveganfamily.com. You can go to memberships, and we do a lot of virtual events, and it's just rolling out, so I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be so much more, but right now we're doing yoga in there. We do breath work in there. We do Pilates. We do support groups, uh, group chat. Group coaching calls. We do challenges. We're doing a Juice Fast challenge in August 1st. And I'm writing about 10 courses. My first course is How to Juice Fast. And we're also working on our own podcast. Um, Hopefully it can be somewhere close to as good as Jerome's. We'll see. Um, but yeah, community. It's all about community.
They say that you know, if we want to go fast, we can go alone. But if we want to go far, go to, go together.
Oh,
You
and
know.
I could really like talk on that for a minute. I know we gotta go, but man, I used to be isolated
Hmm.
because of my experience as a child. I thought nobody was trustworthy, and I thought like people are too much work. If I let them in, they're gonna hurt me or they're gonna do something to make my life harder. So I was trying to do everything on my own for a really long time, and it was really hard for me to let people in. And then I healed, like past a certain degree, and I wanted to mention this in our talk anyway. Socializing, it used to be draining for me, and I used like people liked me, but I just felt drained, and I just would avoid it, and I felt like I didn't connect. Now I can connect with you guys because I had to find the right wavelength of people, and it's not draining. It's the opposite. It's crazy. I was like, oh wow, I just went to a retreat with 50 people juicing and eating raw vegan, and I was speaking there and hosting breath work and doing classes, and that really pushed me because I was with 40, 50 people every day, seeing me with my kids. When my 3-year-old almost threw my 4-year-old almost threw a taco at me, a raw taco at me. I'm like, everybody's looking, like people really saw me in my vulnerable state, like 8 hours a day for 4 days, and they were so loving. And the women were taking care of my children, and people were helping with everything, and everyone was working as a community, and that's got me thinking, man, maybe I want to live in a community of natural minded people with, like I never thought I could do that. I thought like I couldn't let people in that close. But once I was forced to do that, like by the time I left, I was like, everyone here's my best friend. I've never had so many connections in my life. And then I wasn't drained, like I was tired from traveling, but I was energized, and I like on fire, like nothing I had experienced before with socializing. So I hope to meet you in real life and give you a big hug, and have some juices together, or do some breath work together.
Absolutely, it's gonna happen. You know,
Yes.
it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. And with that retreat that you spoke about, Julie, you were with Stephanie, right?
I
Or was that a
Stephanie
different one? Was that a
Stephanie
different
Weiss.
retreat? Yeah, spread the raw. Stephanie Weiss.
She's one of my best friends. She hosted my grand opening raw vegan pizza party of the community, but she
Okay,
was not with me at the retreat.
okay. That was a separate one
That
with this one,
was,
and wow, and
yeah.
what I mean, just that vulnerability, you know, to be able to stand
I have
firm, you know, to
friends.
be,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I have friends I actually enjoy. I
You're like, it's crazy. You're like, who knew? Who would have thought? Who
fit
would have
in
thought?
somewhere.
Yeah, you know, the misfits that fit in. We're the ones that, you know, that stand out but fit in.
It's
Yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
so fulfilling.
it is. It is. When you find your tribe and you spread that vibe, we all can thrive. You know, we keep it
Woo!
alive.
That's my
Yeah.
man. I love that poetry that just flows right out of your mouth without even thinking. It's the best, guys. It's the best. You're listening to a genius right
Oh,
now. The way his
oh,
mind works
there.
is it's not like anything. And it's his lifestyle too. But you were
Bless it.
probably born with it, and then you fostered it and fostered it.
You're a charmer. I love it.
I mean it. I don't say things I don't mean. I
Well,
shed
thank you so much.
that. I
You,
shed that people pleasing
for
behavior.
sure, for
Unfortunately,
sure. So,
for those that
so,
I'm not pleasing anymore.
well, thank you for saying what you mean and meaning what you say. You know, thank you for showing up for all of us today. You
Yes. Thank
know,
you
yes,
so much for having me. It's a great honor to be with you, and I can't wait to see what you do with this one, what you pull from
awesome.
it.
Yeah,
Do
and
that.
we'll do it again.
All
We'll do it again.
right.
We won't take a whole year to do it
That's
again. We'll do it again
right.
before
That's
that.
right. I want to do this again soon.
We'll make
It's
it
so
happen.
therapeutic.
We'll make it happen. All right.
All right.
Much
Love you,
love.
man.
Much love.
See ya.
Take care. Bye bye.